Life of a plug, tuning in again. Which Air Maxes can we expect to be released on the next Air Max Day? I'm glad you asked. On every 26th of March, every sneakerhead celebrates Air Max Day. On this date in 1987, the first Air Max 1 was released, so you can see it as an anniversary. Traditionally, a new Air Max is released on Air Max Day. It's either a new release with a lot of history, like the 86 Big Bubble, or it's a reissue of an old pair that is now marked as vintage, hard to find, in good condition, and not advised to walk on. To give you some examples, Air Max 1 Elephant, Air Max 1 Animal Pack, Air Max 90 Bacon. We've made a list of epic Air Max 1s that will possibly be reissued by Nike in order to celebrate the anniversary of the Air Max. Before we start, please do not forget to plug yourself with all the sneaker knowledge you need to know by hitting that subscribe button. Number 1. The Nike Air Max 1 Keep Rippin', Stop Slippin'.
This pair is part of a sequel. It first released in 2008, and later in 2018, Nike decided to release an Air Max 95 KRSS as well.
It has the famous safari print and pony hairs applied to it and is a grail for many Air Max 1 collectors. It is rumored that these will appear sooner than expected. It is not confirmed, but we heard that later in 2023, we will see a restock. Number 2. The Air Max 1 by Atmos, Viotech. The Viotech pack dates from 2003 and was released in collaboration with Atmos. It consisted of an Air Max 1 and an Air Max 95. The Japanese streetwear and sneaker boutique Atmos is known by Air Max 1 enthusiasts as they have released a lot of legendary pairs. For example, the previous mentioned Animal and Elephant packs are Atmos releases. The Air Max 1 Viotech is a grail for many collectors, and due to the fact that a lot of Atmos releases have been reissued over the past few years, it is becoming more and more realistic that we can see the Viotechs coming back as well. Number 3. The Nike Air Max 1 Skull Pack. In 2006, Nike released the Air Max 1 Skull Pack. It was an easy pickup and it never really sold out. However, due to the clean colorways of both shoes, it has become an all-time favorite for many sneakerheads. I remember picking these up at my local Foot Locker and adding them to my standard rotation units. Both colorways regretfully ended up as beaters, but years later, the Skull Pack finally got the respect they deserve. These probably qualify in order to celebrate our beloved Air Max Day. Number 4. The Nike Air Max 90 Homegrown. The Homegrowns were released in 2006 in collaboration with State Magazine, which was a popular online Dutch hip-hop magazine owned by record label Top Notch. What many don't know is that Guy from Pata designed the shoes together with Dutch rappers Nina, Ween, and Seth. The purpose of the collabo was to promote State Magazine, so it was never officially labeled as a Pata collaboration. The original release came from official State Magazine mixtape. The Air Max 90 Homegrown exists in an orange Friends and Family version as well. These Hyperstrikes were sold in the Pata store in Amsterdam for €1,500. Do you think Nike will reissue a special release like this? Number 5. The Air Max 1 Atmos Beast Pack. Another day, another Atmos. The Beast Pack released in a series of 3. The Air Max 1, a Dunk Low Premium, and a Court Force High. The Beast Pack is also called the Safari 2.0 Pack due to the safari theme that is applied on the shoes. As a lot of Atmos collabos are reissuing on Air Max Day, we cannot rule this one out. We would welcome this one back with very kind feelings. Number 6. The Air Max 1 Hold Tight. I still got this fresh in my mind. Ben Drury releasing the Air Max 1 Hold Tight, including the Nike wind jacket. A very clean design with sort of a spider web on the heel. The same spider web was on the back of the wind jacket. On the tongue of the shoe was the text Hold Tight. Like many models previously mentioned, these can be labeled as vintage, and unless you soul swap them, they can't be worn anymore. How epic would it be if they surprised us with these in the coming years? Number 7. The Air Max 1 Kid Robot. It is very unlikely that Nike would do it, but what is life without fantasy? In 2005, Nike collaborated with the US toy brand Kid Robot. They released this Air Max 1 in a special box, and each shoe came with a figurine. and one of the 5 different insoles. In some sense, all the kid robots are different, and it gave an extra dimension in collecting these. They also released a Hyperstrike, just as with the homegrowns. Like mentioned before, Nike will probably not reissue these beauties, and to me, this epic pair may stay part of the Nike Air Max 1 history. Number 8. The Nike Air Max 1 Urawa Red Dragon. In 2004, Nike released the Japanese-only Air Max 1 Urawa Red Dragon. It was a tribute to the Urawa Red Dragon Football Club, and it featured the team's kit as the primary colorway of the shoe. Although it's a Japanese-only release, the shoe is highly sought after worldwide. This vintage pair cannot be worn unless you soul swap it, and I know that a lot of sneakerheads would dream of a reissue of this pair. Imagine how your sneakers day would be if you hit a W on this Grail. Number 9. The Nike Air Max 1 Huarache Pack, a timeless piece of art. With the speckles on the outsole combined with the earth-like and orange colorway, this was a direct hit. There's not much of a backstory to tell on these, but it's just a beautiful pair that needs reanimation. Number 10. The Air Max 1 Polka Dot. The Polka Dot is a premium Air Max 1 that was released back in 2007. This clean colorway was a standard shoe to have in your rotation around that time. Due to this, a lot of people want to have a fresh pair in their collection. It has this epic vibe that brings you back to the good old days. It's not a special collaboration, nor does it have a good backstory to fall in love with, but it's still an Air Max 1 that would be appreciated by many. Number 11. The Nike Air Max 1 Powerwall BRS. If they would reissue this in a general release, the shoe might lose a lot of its magic. However, it's unattainable for the public as only a few pair of them were made. All pairs are vintage and absolutely cannot be worn unless they are soul swapped. The BRS is probably the best of all the Powerwall releases. It's an homage to Nike's origins at the Blue Ribbon Studios and was made to celebrate the origins of Nike's Air technology. Time will show if we would ever see a reissue of this Air Max 1. I personally hope so, but at the same time, I hope not. Number 12. The Air Max 1 Adventure Pack. It's a lot more realistic that we will see a reissue of the Adventure Pack than a Powerwall BRS or a Kid Robot. The Adventure Pack consists of 2 clean colorways of the Air Max 1 and was a Europe-only release back in 2006. Both shoes are fully embraced by sneakerheads. The feeling I get with these shoes is similar to the Skull Pack. It would not be big fireworks if they reissue these, but many sneakerheads would not be complaining at all. The Adventure Pack is very accessible, and if we elaborate further on this issue, it might not be a bad idea to make a 2.0 version of these. Please note that this list is based on assumptions and personal research. If Nike decides not to reissue these pairs on Air Max Day, we have had a nice little history lesson about some epic Air Max 1s from the past. We hope you've enjoyed this video and invite you back on our next one. Stay notified and plug yourself by hitting the subscribe button underneath the video. Much love and see you next time. Adios.